So you know there's this trend going around. What were you like in the 90s? Well, here's me. Yeah, questionable hair and questionable clothes. But hang on, what about the rest of the team? Oh, can't unsee this. You know the other thing that happened? This hit our roads, the original Renault Twingo in 1992. It's kind of permanently surprised, but also accidentally adorable at the same time, right? Well, 34 years later, it learnt to use moisturiser and has had a glow up. Introducing the brand new Renault Twingo E-Tech. Since 1992, Renault has sold over 4 million Twingos across the generations, and with its quirky looks, became a bit of an icon, especially that original Mark 1. Now fast forward to 2026, and this is the all-new, all-electric Renault Twingo. It's a bit of a tricky follow-up to the hugely popular Renault 5, which the Twingo will sit beneath in the Renault lineup. This is more of a city-orientated car, so it gets a small 27.5 kilowatt-hour battery for a WLTP range of 163 miles. And the entry level is going to cost under £20,000 when it goes on sale in the UK later in 2026. It'll be on our roads in Jan 2027. So we have seen the Renault Twingo in the flesh before, but we are going to be driving it today. And unfortunately, it's on the streets of Ibiza. Oh, what a shame we've had to fly out here to do that. But I just want to, first of all, before we take it for a drive, talk about the design. I mean, we've got to give them a bit of a round of applause, right? Because it was a very iconic design in the 90s, even though, fun fact for you, the original Renault Twingo was never launched in the UK. No, it just stayed in Europe. But it's such an iconic design, we still all know and love it. Now, the Gen 2, the Gen 3 look nothing like this. So they have brought back all the distinguishing features, and it is undeniably an original Renault Twingo, right? I mean, I can't find anything on this car that hasn't taken influence from the original car. And I'm glad they've done that, because look at it, it's cute. I feel like it's a character. It wants to be your friend. I'm going to call it Kermy. Kermy, my Twingo. I mean, obviously that is because it is in absolute green. It's not just in absolute green though, it also comes in absolute red and not absolute yellow, no, mango yellow. Right, I need to let you into a little secret. I am currently very much in my happy place. So, we just drove past the church I got married in quite a few years ago, but it's always nice to see it. Manos has been on the decks DJing, he's got some good tunes going, and the sun is shining, we've got blue sky. It's absolutely heaven here. So the question is, will this Twingo add to the experience, or is it going to ruin it for me? Let's find out. Now, it's no secret that this is no hot hatch, is it? It's just a very efficient, cute little thing that you can potter around town in. And I think that is its identity. It gets a modest 80 horsepower. If you go to floor it, something will happen eventually. If you go to steal it, somebody will catch you very quickly. I mean, this goes from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 12.1 seconds. So, yeah, it's just very comfortable meandering around town. And actually, it really is. Like, it's agile because it's so light and small, it's nippy. And I think actually it is a perfect city car because you don't need an excessive amount of power. It's almost torture, right? If you have a car with loads of power at your fingertips and yet you're stuck in traffic and you can't use it, I mean, that's just, it's cruel. It's like dangling a carrot. So if you don't want the carrot to be dangled, go for something that doesn't have anything to dangle, if you get what I'm saying. Also, it means you're going to keep a clean driving license for a lot longer if you drive this around town. Think about that. I don't think Nicola's going to like it. So recently she took the Fiat Grande Panda for a test, which has very similar figures, but she wasn't hugely impressed. So I don't think she's going to be impressed by this. I'm pleasantly surprised to see we've got some Regen pedals. So you can also have one pedal driving, which is brilliant, particularly if you're, driving around busy cities, sitting in lots of traffic. So you've got that option, and then two other options, or you just have it off completely. So really, you can set that to your driving style, or also what roads you're on. Now, as for that real-world range, we know that the Twingo has a claimed range of 163 miles from its 27.5 kilowatt-hour LFP battery. Now, if you do want to know more about what an LFP battery is, check out the explainer on electrifying.com. Now, I drove it on a variety of roads all around Ibiza in fairly mild weather. I'm going to say it was pretty spirited driving. There wasn't much congestion, the roads were clear, and I wanted to really push the boundaries of this little car. So actually, I did only get 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, which is good for a range of just over 100 miles. So perhaps a little bit lower, but I think that is reflective of my driving style. So some of the features worth pointing out. We do love this sort of goggly eye feature. The headlamps look so cool and very distinguishable. Then again, this is all so similar to the original down at the front here, but obviously all been modernised. This plastic at the front is all made of recyclable material. Now, if you can look at it closely, it's got this kind of flecky design. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan because I think it almost just looks like it's a bit dirty, but I'm assuming that is one way to get more sustainable materials in. So if that is the case, we're going to give it a thumbs up. We've also got a little bit of an attention to detail here. This kind of styling in the side there. In the original concept, they did have round door handles, but they look quite cool, but I think they've decided, obviously, maybe they weren't practical enough. And then, round at the back, I mean, it's a great looking car at the back, isn't it? You're not going to forget this rear. Again, these very unusual rear headlights. And then this, a little fin. That little fin, combined with that little fin, is going to give you an extra 3 miles of efficiency, which actually, if you're running out of juice, is really useful to have. I'm also enjoying all these little touches. The fact that they've got the Twingo logo there and it's illuminated. Nice. Now, the platform that the Twingo sits on is actually pretty much the same as the Renault 5. The only difference is the rear axle. That actually comes from the Renault Captur, if that's of interest to you. And in terms of length, it's 3.8 metres long. And as you can see, you get 5 doors with it, which I think, to be honest, is something that we kind of expect from cars now. If you look at the Fiat 500e, only 3 doors. I think that is a bit of a limiting factor if you're choosing between the two of them. Right, let's talk interior. Take a look around. Now, you're probably wondering, why has Nicki got her oversized case for her oversized headphones sitting in between the 2 seats and propping her elbow on it? Well, this is the armrest. I'm embarrassed for this armrest. What on earth? This is, I mean, it's got a zip to put stuff in down the side. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like decluttering. I like having somewhere to put things. But what is this? It looks terrible and it's not that comfy. It wobbles. And when you're driving, you hit your elbow against this, which is basically, it's kind of covered, but it's just a hard piece of plastic. Look, let me show you. I mean, very, very strange. It is an option. I wouldn't get it. Don't choose it. Although I did just use it then. Anyway, what else can I show you? Well, as I mentioned on the front of the car, we have some more speckled plastic. And I think I've realised why I don't like it. Bear with me when I describe this to you. Certain types of year, if you park under certain trees, some kind of like sap drops down. It like sprinkles down in tiny little droplets and makes your car all sticky. And it reminds me of that. And I just want to wipe it clean. But you can't because obviously that's part of the design. Maybe I just need to get over it. It doesn't look bad, it just reminds me of that and I find that a little bit annoying. But apart from that, overall, it looks good in here, doesn't it? I love the design here with that new Twingo logo. The carpet, the floor mats. I feel bad saying this, but personally for me, too much. I hate the word jazzy. Jazzy describes those carpets. I don't like them. It's too much. And as a consequence, God, I sound like a Scrooge here, but I love how they've designed their own alphabet. It looks really cool for Twingo. I don't need the alphabet on the roof of my car. I feel like I'm in my kid's nursery right now. Don't need that, and maybe that's why I don't need it on the carpet as well. So that's just me being really boring. Maybe you like it. What do you think? Am I being boring? Am I old? Am I dull? Do you like jazziness in your car design? So the steering wheel is kind of feeling very standard Renault. We've got the gear selector with the lipstick design. Love that. And then So you've got your driver display in front of you, 7 inches. Then you've got your infotainment system, 10 inches. And then, of course, it is a Google system. So with it, you get your Google Assistant, you get your Google Maps. It's just brilliant. You don't actually need to sync with your phone if you don't want to, but you have that option if you do. And I just think having Google inbuilt in your infotainment system is like the best thing in the world. The other thing you might notice is up here. How many times, well, hopefully not too many times, but on the odd occasion where you have to put your hazards on, you go, oh, there it is, by which point the dangerous situation has probably passed. This, you are not going to miss. I mean, it's quite in your face, maybe a little too in your face, but again, that's taken from the original design. I'm going to go with I like it, and it's going to enhance your safety. So let's not change that. And then, of course, you do still have a few physical buttons for your climate control. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty good place to be. And of course, there is that button that you just press twice, nice and simple. It activates your chosen driver assistance settings. So it makes it really easy to have your lane keep assist and speed limit warnings on or off without having to use the touchscreen. Okay, so back here, you've got 2 pretty decent sized seats with a headrest. A little bit disappointed we don't have proper windows for extra ventilation. But you've got a flat floor, so you've got a little bit of extra space for your legs. Now, at the moment, I've got about that much space between my knees and the seat in front, which is set to my driving position, 5'8". Now, this is its magic trick. You can move these seats 17 centimetres forward. Now, obviously, you're not going to do that with a passenger in this seat because clearly that's going to be very uncomfortable for the person driving. However, if you don't have a passenger in the car, it means you get extra boot space. So the boot can actually change from 360 litres to 260 litres, depending on where the seats are. And actually, if you have the seats all folded down, you get over 1,000 litres. Now, the other thing is that the front seat, the passenger seat, folds all the way down, but not in the UK version. So if you wanted to travel with your surfboard, well, you can't. You'll have to take up knitting instead. Sorry. Now, I am aware, of course, that the Insta and the Kia EV2 have got this sort of clever packaging, but they're a lot more expensive than the Twingo 2. So the question is, why has no one else done this in a cheap EV? I'm loving it. Now, I thought I would demonstrate, just for reference, how much space you get. So the rear seats at the moment are pushed back as far as they can go, and you can relatively easily, maybe a little bit tight, get 2 carry-on suitcases. So, ta-da! My luggage, Manos's luggage. And then, of course, underneath you do have a place to store all your cables, which is nice. Keep those out of the way. Now, quick word on specs. We don't know the full details yet, but there will be 2, the Evolution and the Techno, with the same battery and the same range. Now, the confirmation that we have had so far is that the entry-level Evolution will be under £20,000 and will have things like the sliding rear seats, cruise control, and it will come in black and white and silver as standard. The Techno is likely to be over £20,000. It's going to have Google built in, heated seats, 1 pedal driving and a reversing camera, and come in 3 pretty bright paint colours. I think the other thing that you do get from driving this car is that it does have a sense of fun about it. Because it is that kind of nippy, agile style to driving, it feels like it's just got lots of energy. And I'm enjoying that. It's also, in terms of like the steering, it feels very direct. I think if you were, doing a school run or nipping to the supermarket, it would just be a very easy car to drive around. I think the other thing to notice as well, it doesn't feel cheap the way it drives. I mean, in comparison to the Dacia Spring, which, it feels like you're just sort of slightly driving around in a little tin pot. This feels quite refined. I mean, I know the Dacia Spring is a fair chunk cheaper than this, but about 15 grand. But this does feel refined for a car that's under 20 grand. It doesn't feel like it's that cheap. It's good value. Now, the fastest I've been in this car is about 100 kph, so about 60 miles per hour. And at that speed, the road noise and the wind noise has been fine. I mean, the roads here are actually quite smooth. But ultimately, from the wind noise, there really isn't that much, which is quite impressive, actually. Now, if you are going to be going on the motorway a lot, maybe this isn't the car for you. I suspect you are going to be wanting the Renault 5 instead. Or maybe something used. There are loads of great used EVs on electrifying.com, so if you want to go and check those out, click on the QR code here. Now, much more relevant for the Twingo is its tiny turning circle of just 9.87 metres, which means that you can swing this little car through awkward car parks and around those congested streets around your kids' school with absolutely no problem at all. It really is a proper urban specialist. In terms of visibility, it's not bad, to be honest. I mean, if you look out your rearview mirror, your sort of vision is kind of obstructed by the headrests. So you can only kind of see the gap in between because you can't see over the top of the headrests. So it's a little bit limiting, but overall, I wish I had a sunroof. Missing that. A little pano roof would be great. But instead I've got an alphabet. Fantastic. I'll just read that, shall I, while trying to drive at the same time. Okay, so charging on the Twingo is likely to be up to 50 kilowatts. Now, I say likely because Renault hasn't actually confirmed the final UK specs yet. And in some markets, DC rapid charging is optional. However, Renault is expecting rapid charging as standard in the UK, which I think is a great move because, well, I wouldn't blame anyone for being a little bit annoyed if they couldn't rapid charge, even on a city car like this. And especially given that rivals like the EC3, the Grande Panda and more can be charged up to 100 kilowatts. Anyway, with a 50 kilowatt charge, you can expect to get 10 to 80% in around 30 to 45 minutes. Put it another way, a 100 mile top up will take more like 45 minutes. But most importantly, when you plug in to a 7 kilowatt home charger, you'll have a full charge from nearly empty in around 6 hours or so. Or even on a normal domestic socket in the UK, you can fully charge this dinky little thing in around 15 hours. You'll also be able to add 11 kilowatt AC charging on the Twingo, and even vehicle to load will be available. Now, if you do end up taking this for a test drive, would you please let me know in the comments below how you get on with the gear selector, the drive selector, which is just up here, and the windscreen wipers down here. Now, so far, I've not had a problem with it. But some of my male counterparts are struggling. They keep getting the wrong one. And I'm just wondering whether that's just a male thing. Maybe you just can't cope with having to multitask and, you know, two different sticks doing two different things. I don't know. Now, there is one thing about the gear selector I suppose I would like to point out, and that is I feel like it's been designed to be pressed. I feel like that needs to be pressed to go into neutral. But it hasn't been designed to press. It's just been designed to impress, because it does look pretty, but there's no purpose for it. Instead, actually, when you want to go into neutral, you don't have to. You just put the parking brake on and it automatically is in neutral. So yeah, it just feels like it needs to be pressed. I feel like this car is also perfect for island life. You know, the roads here are quite narrow, they're not too fast. Again, you can kind of meander around, but because this is a very direct drive, you can swerve out of the way of incoming traffic, which seems to happen quite a lot here in Ibiza. Anyway, the other thing I was thinking about is I think this car could actually be quite good for first-time drivers, because some electric cars, that instant torque, it's too much, it's too overwhelming, it's quite hard to handle if you've only just passed your test. Whereas this power delivery is a little bit smoother, it's not so kind of jerky from a standing start. So yeah, maybe one for your first car. Right, let's make a conclusion on our lovely froggy friend, the Renault Twingo. So quick reminder, it is going to come in two different specs, the Evolution and the Techno. Now we are waiting final confirmation on all of those details, but they will have the same battery and the same range, 163 miles of range and both 80 horsepower. So ultimately, the entry level will be under £20,000. So it's got a good price tag. And I reckon we're kind of getting main character energy, but for supporting role fees here, aren't we? I mean, it's just, you would have a heart of stone not to fall in love with this little character. I have fallen in love with the Twingo on the streets of Ibiza. Have you? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. The only downside is you're gonna have to put it on your Christmas list because it's not coming to the UK streets until January 2027. But I honestly reckon 2027, we're gonna see these things springing up everywhere. Let me know what you think.